Okay, hello guys, welcome to the very first World Cup podcast on the channel. I'm calling this episode 0 because I just want to test the waters today and see if this is something that you guys would want during the World Cup, maybe like once a week or after every sort of round of group fixtures, wherever it may be. But today's focus, of course, is going to be very much on England. And I do have a guest alongside me today who goes by the name of DeeJam. DeeJam, welcome to the video podcast, whatever we're calling this. How you doing?
Good evening, sir. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm all good, mate. So DeeJam's a big England fan like me, and over on his channel he does, you know, Football Manager, football vlogs. Am I saying the right thing here, DeeJam?
Yeah. The main thing is the match day experiences, like yourself. But yeah, I do a lot of sort of reactions to different bits and pieces, especially England games. England is massive on my agenda. I'm not one of those fair weather fans that just comes along for the tournaments. I'm there sort of every friendly, every qualifier. So yeah, that's me.
And the World Cup is on the horizon, so be sure to go and check out his stuff, guys. And without further ado, let's get started. Actually, before we get stuck into some England talk, I do just have to mention that this video is sponsored by OneFootball, who, well, they're an app that is for iOS and Android. It enables you to keep up to date with all the latest World Cup news, live scores, highlights, transfer gossip, and is fully customizable so that you only get the news from the teams and the leagues and all that good stuff that you care about. And it's the first link in the description, guys. So, hashtag sponsor, with that out of the way. Let's get straight into the England talk. So literally less than an hour ago, the full-time whistle blew for England versus Costa Rica, the final friendly before we head into this all-important World Cup, where I think it's fair to say it's a bit of a fresh palette this time. A lot of young players. I think we're the least capped nation in the entire tournament, or around about that anyway. What did you make? What did you make particularly of that last game just now against Costa Rica, mate?
I think, to be honest, so many players put their stamp down on why they should be in the starting lineup for the first game. I mean, to be honest, FABIAN DELPH had an absolute blinder in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, because
Rashford was class. It was just really promising.
Yeah, because this is like, it was pretty much like, when I saw the lineup, I thought this is pretty much like, I know it's a 23-man squad and you want to use all your players, but it's more or less England B. I think in that first game against who did we play before? Nigeria, right? I think that is the closest to initially what I thought was going to be our lineup in that first game against Tunisia. But like you say, I think a few players have given him a bit of a headache there, and the two you mentioned as well, Rashford and DELPH. What a goal, by the way, from Marcus Rashford.
Oh, I know, absolute blinder. But that is what he's capable of if he's allowed to play in the middle. If you stuck him out on the left wing, you know what he's going to do. He's always going to cut inside and it gets a bit predictable. But you allow him that option, right? You are a striker. Go for it, mate. Have a pop a goal, run around, do whatever you want in the middle of the pitch. And he produces. It goes to show that Mourinho is using him in the wrong way. But for England, hopefully that's another option. You've got, you know, if you partner him and Kane together, I mean, who knows what could happen? Yeah,
for sure. So is that what you'd go for then? Would you say, because, okay, let's just imagine, it seems like we're going for a 5-3-2. It seems like we're going for 2 up top. It seems like it's Kane and one of sort of 4 players. You're looking at Rashford, Sterling, Vardy, or potentially Welbeck, who also grabbed a goal today. But who would you go for out of those 4 next to Kane? Would you go for Rashford now?
I would play Rashford just purely because of the fact that he's done really well in tonight's game. He's got the confidence. He's riding high at the moment. And whilst he's in that bubble of I'm playing well, I'd carry on playing him up top and get him playing alongside Kane as well, who does the majority, you know, of the hold-up play, brings others into play. You know what you're going to get, and you know that Rashford can also pass to somebody else who's on the same wavelength and who's of a better ability than what he is, because there were so many times during that game where you wanted Rashford just to look up and make a little bit of a simple pass, but he was trying to take on about 3 or 4 players at the same time because nobody else was getting anywhere near him. Yeah. So that's what I'd be looking for if I would play Rashford. It's harsh on Sterling because he's had a great season, but I would play Rashford.
I was going to say potentially, I don't know, this is probably in Southgate's faults, but potentially you could drop Sterling. I know he probably does well. Like for Man City, right? He plays out wide essentially, doesn't he? So that sort of out and out position isn't available for him at all in the England squad. He has to play a bit differently than he does for his club. But you could potentially drop him back, I was just thinking, to maybe Lingard or Alli's position if needs be. Like that sort of attacking midfielder, you know, like the third most forward most man, just behind Rashford and Kane.
Yeah, it's an option. It's definitely an option. You've got to have somebody in there who's got the legs, who can get back and forth, and who's got a bit of pace about him to go on the counter attack. So Sterling's a perfect kind of player for that. This is the thing, we've got so many different options now. It's not just the same caliber of player that turn up to these tournaments. We've now got different people that can just drop in and out. So it will be nice to see us being able to rotate and not rely on the same players again and again.
Yeah, and it does seem, like you say, like every player's playing in their right position, and there is genuine competition for places. Because I think back quite a while, it has to be said, but back when we had like pretty much our golden era, we had Gerrard, Lampard, Scholes, and it was like fitting. What's the saying? Fitting square pegs in round holes. Because like you know, Scholes would get pushed out to the left. But it doesn't seem like that's really the apart from with Sterling, who obviously literally just touched on about not quite playing the same position. But it does seem that players naturally fit in this formation, and it does seem like I said this before the 2016 Euros, to be honest, and look how that turned out. But it does seem a little bit different. I don't know what you think about that.
No, it does. I honestly think that's the reason why Wilshere's not been included in this squad. Yeah. He just does not fit the molds that Southgate is now wanting to play with. So I can completely understand why he has been dropped. But yeah, we've now got a purpose. We've now got a style of play. We've now got a way of going about a game. Rather than just turning up with the best players possible and seeing what happens, it's actually if you take one person out of a team, you've got someone who can easily go in and slot in place.
Yeah.
And, you know, you've got DELPH. If he wanted to play in centre mid, he can. Or if he wants to go back to his left-back position, he can. Young can play left wing. Right wing, you know, you've got Walker who can play centre back and right wing. We've got so many players who can drop in and out of different positions, and I think that's the whole key to this squad, is that anyone is replaceable.
Yeah, definitely. I do. His 23-man squad is making a lot more sense. But speaking of the 23-man squad, now we've had those two friendlies. Now we've had a chance to see, you know, was Gareth right to, I don't know, maybe include Alexander-Arnold, other players that are on the fringes, you know, young players like that. Is there anyone that you would change right now if you could just have one sort of do-over? Would you take anyone in, like Wilshere you mentioned? I know, you know, a few people have been calling for him to be in there, but is there anyone you would change now, having seen those two friendlies, basically?
To be honest, no. I think the only one I had a bit of a question mark on is Tarkowski. I thought he deserved to be in the squad instead of Cahill, but obviously now with him having his operation, he's not going to be around for the World Cup at all anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe dropping Welbeck for somebody, but then again, even dropping somebody like him, there's not a name that automatically springs to mind and thinks that someone has quite blatantly deserved a place.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. But speaking of Welbeck, though, his goal today puts him, I think, 16 goals in 39 games or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So he's like pretty much England's top scorer at international level, obviously. So
he's the Peter Crouch of this generation. He's that he just turns up, scores. Yeah. And that's about it.
yeah. No, I like Welbeck. He's sort of like a good, I don't know how to describe him, maybe like a
utility player.
Yeah, like a utility forward, isn't he? Because he can play off the left, he can play, you know, up front, sort of how he did today in a 2, or I don't know. He seems to have a good goal scoring record for England, so I can see his inclusion. But I do think he was probably the one who was potentially replaceable. But that's 3, I think, consecutive tournaments for him now. Well, I'm not sure if he made the 2014 World Cup, did he? I can't remember.
I've tried to blank those sort of things out of my mind, to be honest. Once they're done, they're done.
Yeah, I hear you. But he definitely, I know he definitely was first choice. The commentary said it today at Euro 2012, and I think last Euros he was there. And obviously now he's a bit more of a backup player now, but a good one at that. But I mean, I think the same. I think the 23-man squad, you can't touch it now. I'm just interested to sort of take a back seat and see what Gareth does with this bunch of lads, because we could still quite easily fall into that trap of you know, we've had 2 decent friendlies. We've, like, I think before the last competition we beat Germany. And then the competition came around, and
we've seen it before, haven't we? This is the thing. We do so well. We go unbeaten during the qualifiers, and everyone gets really hyped, and then you get to the World Cup, and it just lets you down. It's just, you know, like I said, there is a purpose and there is a style. I'm not getting carried away, but it's just nice to see that you know what you're going to get.
Yeah,
that's all I'm thinking at the moment. There's a purpose.
Yeah, and for the first, or maybe, I don't know how, I can't quite remember how we sort of felt as a nation before the last before the last tournament. But I think this time, like, the fans don't really expect much of the team. Like, if we went out in the quarterfinals, I think England, you know, like maybe 10 years ago, this definitely wouldn't be the case. But now it's like, if we finish in the quarterfinals, it's like, okay, good job. See you at the next Euros.
That's the thing. I think I know the players have been saying a lot in their press conferences that they want to go there and win it. But realistically, this is a development tournament. Anything other than getting knocked out of the group stage, you know, 16, you know, round of 16 onwards, that is a good platform to build on for the next Euros and build on for the next World Cup. It's getting that generation of players that have played youth levels through, which is what is happening now. And then, you know, who knows? We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. But it's just one of those tournaments, like you said, that you can kind of go and just relax for a bit. It's just, let's just enjoy watching England play for a change rather than so much expectation and then they just let you down.
Yeah. I mean, but like, you touched on the sort of the whole press thing there. You know, no players come into a press conference or whatever and say, yeah, we're not aiming to win the tournament. I think even actually there was an exception. Actually, did you see there was a video the other day? I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, but there was a load of players from, like, I think probably like 10, maybe 8 nations or something, and it was an interview, and it was like, who do you think is going to win the tournament? And they asked every single player, and every single player said their own nation, but bang in the middle of these like 8-9 players was just Yoshida of Japan and Southampton, and he just went, I think Brazil are going to win it.
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, it was good. But no, it's good that they've got what's that?
That probably just about sums him up, really, as a player.
Yeah, well, Yoshida, just bang average, not much belief.
Exactly.
So moving on to a slightly more specific discussion then. So we've sort of touched on the style of England and, you know, what our expectations might be for this tournament, some of the players, but what about one of the most topical things, which is the goalkeeper position? We saw Pickford got given the #1 shirt a couple of days ago when Southgate submitted the official squad, even though we already knew the 23 man, but he got given the #1 shirt. Today we saw number 13 Jack Butland and I think number 23 Nick Pope get half an hour as well. Who's your #1?
Well, I'd love to be able to sit here and say Nick Pope because I'm a Suffolk boy, so I want somebody representing my area. But I'm gonna be, for me, it's Jack Butland.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything wrong with Pickford. He's a very good goalkeeper, and you know, if it weren't for him, Sunderland would have got relegated a hell of a lot earlier than what they did. He was, you know, he's a superb goalkeeper. But Jack Butland has been there through all of the under-19s, all the under-20s, under-21s tournament. He's even played in the Olympics. Do you know what I mean? He's played at tournament level throughout the youth team. And I think the only thing that's letting him down is the fact that Southgate thinks that Pickford is better with his feet. And that's the only thing I can think of as the reason why, you know, if you're picking out of the two. But there's not much to separate them. I would personally pick Butland just because I've seen him in action a couple of times and I quite like him. I think he's a decent goalkeeper. But I wouldn't be too upset if Pickford was the #1.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat, to be honest. I mean, you look at the game today against Costa Rica. He looked quite comfortable with his feet, Jack Butland. Like, he didn't look any different to Pickford to me. When you're talking about, you know, doing that but quicker, when you get impressed by maybe the likes of Belgium in the groups or Colombia, maybe if we get through to the knockouts, or Poland, or whoever it may be. When there's a bit more of an attacking presence, will Butland be able to do what Jordan Pickford can with his feet? I'm not sure. I definitely am in the same boat in that I think Butland's probably our most naturally gifted goalkeeper as a full package, but you never know. Like some tournaments sort of make young players, and this could be, you know, for a bit of an eye-opener to see, you know, Pickford it is important to play with your feet, as Pep Guardiola has demonstrated at Man City with Ederson and getting rid of Joe Hart and stuff like that. So I'm in a similar boat, really.
Do you know, just to disagree with you, sod it, I'm going for Nick Pope. Get that man in the starting lineup.
Well, do you know what? I'm sure anyone that's listened to this who's a Charlton fan, because obviously I'm a Charlton fan, and Nick Pope came through the Charlton Academy, is going to kill me for not even bringing him into the conversation. He's been the best goalkeeper. This English goalkeeper, in the Premier League this season, without doubt. So, like, just by that alone, he definitely has a shout, and he looked comfortable today. There was a snapshot fired at his near post. He even had he looked the worst out of the three with his feet. Like, he looked a bit awkward on it. But, you know,
you can tell playing with Burnley, he's not used to that. He's not used to that completely style of play. But
Yeah.
Like I said, he used to play for a team that are literally 10 miles down the road from me in Berry Town. So sorry, I'm going for Nick Pope. Let's stick him in there. Why not?
Nick Pope.
Experimental tournament. Let's go for it.
All right then. Okay, so we might as well carry this on then and actually go for our full starting 11, Tunisia versus England. So you're sticking Nick Pope in between the sticks, are you? I'd love to, but
I wish I was that. Can I be brave? No, sorry, I'll be brave. Let's stick him in. Stick him in.
I suppose it depends if I'm asking you for a prediction or if I'm asking you for a like your
preferred.
own. Like your choice. So
yeah. If it was a preferred one, I'd stick him in. But I think prediction-wise, it'll be Pickford.
Okay then. So I'm just wondering, if we go for an 11, should we do a prediction or should we do a prefer? I think we should probably do a prediction, shouldn't we, to make it a bit more topical?
I think so.
Yeah. Okay. So prediction wise, like I'm a Butland guy if I'm preferring, if I'm saying what I prefer, but I am going to go with Jordan Pickford for my prediction in goal for us against Tunisia. Would you echo that?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just move straight on to right wing back then, shall we?
Yeah.
So we've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who played pretty well today. You know, he's a good set piece guy. We've got Kyle Walker there as well, who seems to obviously be playing sort of right centre back at the moment. We've got we've got Trippier as well, and we've got who seems, Trippier seems the most likely, and we've also got Ashley Young who could play there. Out of those, who'd you go with?
I think it will be Trippier, but again, I would like to see Alexander-Arnold.
I feel like I'm just agreeing with you on everything here.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's going quite smoothly. I was expecting a lot of arguing to and fro.
Yeah. I literally think the same. I think if it came round to it and I went on my app, on my one football app, guys, #sponsor, and I saw Alexander-Arnold on the right wing back position, I wouldn't really bat an eyelid. I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, he deserves it. He's had a great season. Set pieces, he's good. He's a young lad who's obviously got many more tournaments ahead of him. But I do think that Trippier, who only has, I saw this the other day, only has like 6 or 7 caps, which is quite crazy. But I think he probably most likely gets it. Good cross. He came on today. We saw he just is the most natural in that position, I suppose. Along with Kyle Walker, but with Kyle Walker playing centre back, he probably is the most natural.
I just think that him with Trippier and Walker on that right hand side together, I think they know each other's game inside out, and I think that's probably the only reason why he'd probably just sneak ahead of him.
Yeah. And then obviously, Trippier could sort of tuck in if Walker did want to go forward or whatever. It's a adaptable system as well.
Exactly.
But so we've both agreed on Trippier right wing back, and it looks like we're both agreeing on Kyle Walker right centre back. Then are we?
I think he will. Yeah, he's fair play to Southgate, because I would have never expected that sort of thing to happen before the tournament came up. But I think Kyle Walker's going to get the nod at right centre half. Yeah,
it's bold, isn't it? And I like it when we've managers have played it quite safe with England, like you say, just sticking the 11 best in each position into a random formation that the players don't necessarily play at club level. But this seems different, like we said earlier. And I mean, who played there today? It was Phil Jones, right centre back, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
So he's the guy who seems to be going toe to toe for that specific right centre back spot. But Kyle Walker, I think we both agree on. And now we come to the middle of the back three, where I heard Glenn Hoddle talking about Stones and Dyer potentially being the two for that spot, or I think he might have actually been talking about Dyer being in defensive midfield so that Stones can sort of step up and Dyer can tuck back in. But John Stones obviously fell a little bit out of favour under Pep Guardiola towards the end of the season. But for me, he's played pretty much. I think he was the only player today that started both against Nigeria and against Costa Rica, right? So
true.
So
true,
for me, he's there. He's the guy.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to disagree with you again, but I can't. If you've got the people on the side of him that have got the pace and the tackling ability, you need someone in the middle of that three to be able to do the passing range. Yeah. And Stones is that guy. So I think, he will be the proper centre back. Yeah, and
Glenn Hoddle again was talking today on commentary about potentially seeing Stones like right or left. I think right he was specifically referring to of the back three. just so that he can step up a little bit more, because he was saying that's where the more of the space was coming for him to be able to step out. So interesting to see whether Southgate may have picked up on that. It's quite a sort of intricate thing to sort of, you know, attempt to do punditry on. But
again, it goes back to what we've been talking about, the versatility that any of these players can slot into any position, and it's not going to be a problem.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. If Stones wants to go out to the right, then he can. Then, you know, it's just nice. I'm happy. I'm so happy right now.
Oh, don't get too happy yet. We might lose against Tunisia and Panama, so hold your horses.
Yeah, I need to take it down a level.
Okay, so left centre back. So we've got Maguire. This is probably the trickiest to pick. We've got Maguire and we've got Cahill. Cahill had a smashing game, didn't he, against Nigeria? Great header, man of the match performance. Came on today for a little while. Didn't look as good, but obviously it was for a much shorter period of time, and Costa Rica weren't posing quite as much attacking threat, I think, as Nigeria. Neither of the teams were hugely attacking against us, but no. Nigeria slightly more so, I think, with Iwobi and stuff. But yeah, Cahill or Maguire?
Again, I'd like to go with Maguire, just purely because I'm thinking of the future and get him this international experience under his belt, blah, blah, blah. But I can't see him not going for Cahill. He trusts him. He used him in most of the qualifiers. Cahill was scoring lots of headers from set pieces from, you know, in the qualifiers as well.
Yeah.
I just think it's somebody that Southgate likes, can rely on. And I think if you've got that Walker, Stones, and then Cahill, who does the dirty work, the defensive proper stuff. You've got the pace, you've got the passing, and you've got the proper defender out and out. So I think all three of them will probably just complement.
Yeah. He's got a goal in him as well, Cahill, with his feet or with his head.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I don't know in terms of prediction. I don't know whether I agree with this one. This could be the first one where I might have to disagree. But
yes.
It's always good to have at least one, isn't there? Just something to talk about. I don't know. This one's really up in the air for me. This is one I don't. It's just 50-50 because I understand both sort of merits. I understand maybe just he's probably the only player in the whole 23-man squad who has picked on experience. Everyone else has picked on form and how the season went and the future and youth and all that kind of stuff. Cahill was probably the only exception to that, and you know, when he was given a second chance, he made the most of it. So maybe I'd. Yeah, I'm probably going to just about agree with you again. It's tough though. Yeah. Would not be surprised if I saw Maguire there, but I probably just about agree. 51 to 49 Cahill.
just.
Yeah. And another tricky position, left wing back. Who are you going for?
Again, I would pick Ashley Young, but I think he's going to go with Rose.
Yeah, and I feel like this is like the third time I've brought up Glenn Hoddle in about 5 minutes here. But Hoddle,
he's been a lot of exposure on this.
Yeah. Hashtag sponsor. Danny Rose or Ashley Young. I think I was going to say Glenn Hoddle was talking about it gives us a little bit more. I can't remember the exact phrasing that he used, but like a little bit more of a shape and a little bit more. I can't remember quite the word, but he basically said that he preferred the look of Rose. So.
It just gives you more width, doesn't it? Yeah, rather than someone who wants to have, wants to cut inside and curl the ball into the box.
Less predictable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we even saw Danny Rose. Danny Rose had a shot, didn't he? A little snapshot with his right foot today. It was awful, bearing in mind. But
bless him. Bless him.
But he tried it. But yeah, I'll probably go after the two friendlies. I would go Danny Rose. Beforehand, I would have gone for Young. But now I'm going to go with Danny Rose. And especially, everyone's commending him for the thing that he came out with in the media about depression and stuff. Obviously, great to see that sort of landscape is changing for footballers.
100%.
Yeah,
100% agree with that.
Yeah, and so he's clearly in a good space now. He's clearly in a mind space where he wants to be moving on, getting on with his football and putting that behind him. So why not just stick him out there for more reasons than just that? But that is definitely a factor, I think, as well. And he played pretty well today.
Yeah, he did. He comes in, he does a job, but he does the same thing for Spurs. He's very good on that left-hand side. He gives you width. He gives you overlapping runs. So yeah, I can see the point. I've just been so impressed with Ashley Young since he's made that transition to left back.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see the arguments for Danny Rose as well.
Yeah, it's that battle of like sort of form throughout the season and consistency versus your favoured player. You know, who if everyone was fit, you'd probably go with. It's a funny time. It's another one that's close to 50-50 for me, but probably the first one we're just about going to disagree on. And I do remember as well back in the 2016 Euros, I think just after, people were talking about why, because Rose and Walker were our star players at left back and right back at a 4 at the back formation.
Yeah.
And I remember everyone saying, for the club at that time, they were playing a little bit of 3 at the back with wing backs as well, and they said Rose, and at the time it was Walker. Obviously, he's moved to centre back a little bit as Pilaqueta-esque. But they were talking basically about them being utilised as wing backs, and now 2 years later, it seems like that's actually, happening. And it's Trippier instead of Walker, but yeah, it's happening, and I think we are going to get the best out of them in that sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so CDM is what I'm going to call it, or the pivotal midfielder is the latest term that's been sprayed around the media, and I quite like it. It makes sense. Seems like we're playing with 1 holding midfielder and 2 sort of ahead.
Yes.
So seems like it's going to be between Henderson and Dyer to start, but Fabian DELPH could be in with a shout, maybe to come on if someone gets injured or whatever. He played a little bit further forward today starting, and then he dropped back when Dele Alli came on, didn't he, to sort of that DM position, that holding midfield position. So who do you go with out of those 2/3 or...
I mean, to be honest, it's literally just a flip of a coin between Dyer and Henderson. I don't think there's much to really separate either one of them. Both have got a good passing range. Both can take free kicks. Both can take corners. Both are good with their heads. They've both got an engine. They've both got really good fitness, stamina, all the kind of stuff you need.
Yeah.
Probably Henderson, just shading it.
Yeah.
Again, just more from a reliability point of view. You know what you're going to get with Henderson. Do you know what? I actually sat there and watched him for the first time properly today. And for about 10 minutes, I was watching him and keeping an eye on him. And I was so impressed with him. The way he was organised, and he was moving Loftus-Cheek around, and he was dropping deep to come and collect the ball. And he was literally the one creating the space to get Costa Rica moving and get them like coming out of position. I'd probably just shade with Henderson, just purely on the basis of what I've seen of him this season.
Yeah, but I think booted the ball at a disabled person as well at some point in the game. I'm pretty sure he did anyway. I'm sorry, I apologise for that. Yeah, brutal. Absolutely brutal. But no, I'd probably go along with that. He looked good today, and he's looked good all season. He's captained his Liverpool side to a Champions League final. He's been consistent all season. He's kept as injury-free as he has for a few years, and his passing looked good today. I saw there was one little move in the game where he received the ball, and it was quite dull for about 15-20 minutes in the second half. We were passing side to side, and it kind of reminded me about, of when we were 2-1 down against Iceland in the last Euros. It was just side to side. No, we were 1-0 up at the time, obviously, but it was just a bit boring. I was just like, I hope England really do sort of go for it. All of a sudden, where 2 years ago, I think the Jordan Henderson of 2 years ago would have taken the easy option and passed back, he flicked the ball round someone and played this brilliant pass. I can't remember if it was to Vardy or Welbeck or someone down the right. And then it fell to him in the end, and he had like a sort of like half volley, and it went straight down the keeper's neck. But I just thought he's come on. I know he's about 27 years old, and he's getting into his sort of prime, but he has changed as a midfielder. I think he is improving with his sort of like attacking mindset, with his passing range. Yeah. So I think Henderson gives the team more going forward. Dyer perhaps a little bit more going back. Dropping in, swapping with Stones and whatever. But I think I'll go with Henderson as well, probably.
I think it's just more of a reliability. Again, Southgate knows what he gets from him, so I think he'll probably just about shade it with that. I'd agree. But then again, if he gets a little injury scare, or if there's any particular bad game he has, there's no dramas bringing Dyer in, because like you say, there's not a whole lot in it. They're both similar players. Exactly.
Okay, so we've got 2 further forward midfielders now, the left and the right. Yes. We've got the players going for this are probably Loftus-Cheek, Lingard, Dele Alli. We saw DELPH play there for the first sort of 50-55 minutes today.
Yeah.
And he didn't look out of place, but it was clear that there's a lot more drive when someone like ALLI comes onto the pitch. But on the let's start maybe with the left-hand side, ahead of Henderson / Dyer. Who do we go with?
I'd like to say DELPH. I really, really want to, but I can't see it happening. I think it will, for the two for those two midfield roles, it will be Lingard and ALLI.
Yeah.
But I would probably, for me, I'd play DELPH and Lingard.
You would play DELPH and Lingard, would you? How comes has DELPH how has DELPH impressed you so much to drop ALLI?
I don't know. I've seen a lot of DELPH playing at left back with Man City, and I think he's just got that. He's got the Man City game down to a T now. He's got the pressing, he's got the movement, he knows where to be, how to act on a football pitch. He's got a good passing range. He's taken his game onto another level this year, whereas I think Dele Alli is kind of stalled. I don't really see the progression, and especially at England level, I don't see what Dele Alli offers England as a whole team. He gives the ball away. His dribbling is not fantastic. I'm just not impressed by Dele Alli, and I know that's going to cause a lot of controversy, but I just don't see it. I just don't understand what he offers. Whereas somebody like Lingard, you know exactly what you're going to get from him. He just does the simple stuff well, and he creates and brings other people into play. Whereas Dele Alli, it seems like it's all about him. And if he can pass it to Kane, then he's all right because he knows what to do with that. But if he wants to pass to anyone else, he just I don't know. But I can see. I know what's going to happen. It's going to be Lingard and ALLI. But like I said, I want DELPH in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just probably the first time I'm going to have to pretty strongly disagree in terms of, I really do rate Dele Alli. I think he gives us a lot.
Bring it on.
I think if you look at his stats this season, I know a lot of people, and it really confuses me, a lot of people have been saying he just hasn't had a very good season. The kid's 22 years old, and in fact, I'm going to pull up his stats because he got a load of assists and he got a load of goals.
There we go.
Here we go. I'm getting the stats out. Top assist in the Premier League, 2017 to 2018 season archives. We're having a look.
Jamie here.
We're having a look. He was the fifth top assister with 10 assists this season. And people are saying he's had a bad season. That's the same as Mahrez. That's the same as Eriksen. That's the same as Salah. That's the same as Pogba. That's one less than David Silva. And, he got a few goals as well. So, for me, I don't understand the criticism that Ali's getting. I mean, you cannot fancy him as a player. I understand he does lose the ball, but you've got to try it to lose it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, again, I see that if he gets another tournament under his belt and hopefully he can, he can experience and use it to England's advantage. I want Dele Alli to do well for England. I really do. And I've had this debate with many of my mates before, and I've been in the Dele Alli supporting camp.
Okay.
And they've said the exact same as what I've just said.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely, over the last few games, and especially over the last qualifiers, I've started to see exactly what they're talking about. And I just want him to just sometimes think of the bigger picture rather than just, I must take it past 2 or 3 players. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I like I said, I want him to do well. I really, really do. I really do. But he just needs to calm down. When he's playing for England, he just needs to take it down a notch.
Yeah, I do. Picture. I mean, no player is exempt from criticism for sure. There are things that he needs to improve on in his game. But he's 22 years old. He's one of the best talents in terms of as a footballer. And I know you said his dribbling's not the best, but I think when he does go on a run, he tries it so often that inevitably he does fail sometimes. But I think as he gets towards 24, 25 years old, as he obviously plays more and more for Tottenham and picks up more caps for England, I think he will start to get those mistakes out of his game and become a little bit more reliable. But I mean, today he got an assist, didn't he? Was that an assist or was it a shot? What do you think?
Well, I'll give him an assist. I'll give him the assist.
Yeah.
He can stick that one on the Opta stats.
There was a nice little shot, wasn't there, of Welbeck going over to Dele Alli and saying, "Was that a shot? Yeah." and Dele Alli just went, "Nah." It was a pass, mate. It was a pass. So we'll give him that one. I like him. I think that's the first real sort of big disagreement we've had in this little discussion. But you know, it's always healthy to have a debate, and we'll see how he performs on the big stage.
Yeah, like I said, I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he does well. But
there is that chemistry with Harry Kane that's going to be quite useful for us.
That's it. That's exactly why he is going to get in the team.
Yeah. So Dele Alli and Lingard for you. Does Loftus-Cheek come into the conversation at all? Has he done enough to impress you today? Or...
No, he did well today, but I don't think he's quite ready. This is the perfect tournament for him just to sit back, learn from what's going on. And if we're winning in a game, then, you know, maybe you can bring him on with 15, 20 minutes to go and he can kind of run the run the midfield into the ground, because he's an absolute unit. I did not realise how big he was. He's huge.
He's a tank,
he's
isn't
absolutely huge.
Yeah, but 2-3-0 up or whatever against Panama. You're looking at the bench and you're saying, what can we do now to sort of further our England team as an entire 23-man squad? Yeah, bring on Loftus-Cheek, give him some tournament experience. He might even have the best 20 minutes of his life and earn, you know, a start against Belgium or whatever it may be. But
yeah, exactly. Get the winner against Belgium to send them out.
Something like that. So I think we're agreed. Well, actually, you said you wanted DELPH and you guess ALLI. But I'm going to say I want ALLI, and I guess ALLI as well. I think it is going to be ALLI and Lingard ahead of Henderson. And I'm pleased about it. I think Loftus-Cheek instead of... I'd always keep ALLI in there, but I think Loftus-Cheek instead of Lingard, I wouldn't mind. But, yeah, I think it's going to be Lingard and ALLI.
Yeah.
Which brings us on to the... This has been quite a lot. I feel like we've been doing this for about 25 minutes, haven't we?
I know. But it's been good. It's been good. I've enjoyed it.
There's a lot to talk about. So now we come to the two up top, where I think we can just both pretty much just say Harry Kane is one of the two.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say. Yeah.
There's no really arguing with that. He's probably our best player, world class at the age of 24, 25, whatever he is. Goal the other day against Nigeria. Rested today, but he's our captain. There's no doubt about his place, really, is there?
No, not at all.
So then there's just the debate of who starts alongside Harry Kane, which, like we sort of touched on earlier, there are four players, fighting for that place. And Rashford seems, after today's performance, to be slightly ahead of Sterling in that sort of race. Yeah,
again, I would pick Rashford, but I think it is going to be Sterling.
Oh, really? So you're predicting that Sterling will still get it?
Yeah.
You think Southgate's going to go with Sterling, do you?
Yeah. I think over the course of the season, Southgate still likes him. He's picked him against Nigeria, and like Nigeria was the main team. That that was the one. Other than maybe the fact that Danny Rose and Jordan Henderson, etc. But the nucleus of what is going to be probably our starting lineup involves Sterling.
Yeah,
and it was lively in that first half. He tailored out in the second half against Nigeria, but I can't see him not picking Sterling. I think he will. I don't want him to. I'd prefer Rashford. I'd rather go with the traditional two up top.
Yeah.
Really go for it. But I can see it being Sterling because he can drop back into that midfield, can't he? And he can run channels and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'd shade it on a predicted level as Sterling.
Yeah, this is another tough one for me. I think Rashford, he had a chance today to make give Southgate a headache, and I think he really has made the most of that opportunity. It's difficult, this one, isn't it? Rashford's goal today was good. Sterling's a little bit in front of goal, a little bit lackluster against Nigeria. His finishing wasn't there. I don't know. Rashford and Kane potentially in a couple of years' time could both be two of the world's best strikers. Kane will maintain his level there, and Rashford will pick it up and I think become world class.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go against you. I'm gonna say Southgate will go with today's performance, and he will go for Rashford because, ironically, I know we both sort of agreed that Nigeria starting 11 was the starting 11 that we're expecting. But ironically, we played probably better and more, comfortably, I suppose, or what's the word? Not comfortably, but with more conviction against Costa Rica today. And I don't know how much that says about the two teams that we played, because they're good teams. They're not great teams. They're probably about the same level as a Tunisia who we're about to come up against. But ironically, we played better in the second game with a sort of B team. Would you agree?
I think over the course of the 90 minutes, you'd have to say so. I think the first half against Nigeria was probably the best half of football out of the two games. But I think overall, I think probably, the Costa Rica game probably just about shades it. Yeah,
definitely. As a 90 minutes, it was today. And I think that first... now you've said that, that has sort of woken me up to that first half was pretty good, wasn't it?
It was. I kind of said something earlier on where that I was expecting Costa Rica to come out all guns blazing, just like Nigeria did, and really try and put us under a bit of pressure. But after about 2 or 3 minutes of the second half, it never really happened. And then, after we just had complete control of that second half, whereas against Nigeria, it took about 20 minutes in that second half to calm down. And then really start to take control of the game. Whereas, like I said, it just never really happened today. So we were in full control. I was never worried at any point that we were going to concede or make a mistake or whatever the case. Whereas Nigeria, that second half was quite alarming how many mistakes were sort of creeping into our game. But, they were both good friendlies. They made sense. We got Tunisia, we got Panama. It made sense against the opposition that we're playing. It's just, again, it's another tick for Gareth Southgate. Well done, mate. Bravo.
Yeah, definitely. And Nigeria were probably the only of the two, like you say, that sort of matched us or challenged us tactically, like went up and mirrored our formation and made it difficult. And like you said, we lost our heads a bit for a few minutes. I think we actually had a similar period today in the game, not in terms of Costa Rica, but in terms of we had about 20 minutes in the second half where we couldn't string a pass together. But luckily, we could, but there was a few, skew-if balls and stuff like that today in the second half. And I think the only thing that didn't make it that noticeable was because Costa Rica really were, lackluster. So, like you say, if we had been challenged a little bit more by Costa Rica's attack today, maybe we would have seen a 2-1. So maybe that first half against Nigeria was the best of the sort of 4 halves, if you want to look at it like that. But they are. I can't speak today. They are our 11s. Then there we go. Not too much difference in there.
No.
But pretty happy, pretty excited for the tournament. So there's one thing left to do on this little podcast that is going to be to predict exactly where England are going to finish in the World Cup. I'm not talking like a number. I'm talking like a round. So, group stage, round of 16, quarterfinal, semi-final, whatever.
Right.
What are you going for? And let's think of this in terms of not just we're a quarterfinal team, but actually who we're going to come up against. Should we get here? Yeah. Should we finish first, second? What are you reckoning?
I think. Now this is again. I'm probably going to annoy a lot of England fans, and I'm being probably very pessimistic, but it's just in my nature as a Norwich fan to be pessimistic. I think that what is going to happen is that we will beat Panama, we will beat Tunisia. However, Belgium will beat them by more goals. Because once we get in front, we're not very clinical in terms of going out and winning like a 3 or 4-0. It just doesn't happen for England under Southgate. I think Belgium will score more goals, and then I think the final game, both us and Belgium will be through. Neither team will really put too much emphasis on it, and it will probably just peter out into a draw. And then that will mean that we end up finishing second, which means that we're going to be playing against Colombia, and Colombia are my dark horse for the World Cup.
Wow, and you think?
I think we're going to get knocked out by Colombia.
Wow. Okay, so that means then you've got Colombia to win Group H, and us to come second, and then us to get knocked out by Colombia in the round of 16.
Yeah.
And what do you think the score would be in that game?
Against Colombia? I would say probably 2-1 Colombia. I think we'll be in the game. It will be a great game to watch.
Yeah.
But there's just so many players for Colombia that have just got such a threat. And they've got loads of people who play within the European leagues, so they know all about what to expect from a European team. And they've had the whole of obviously their qualifying campaign against the likes of Argentina, Brazil, and all that kind of stuff. Uruguay. They had a really, really good campaign there. as I said, they are my dark horse for this competition. So I'd love to be able to say, yeah, we're going to go and smash Colombia. We're head off to a quarterfinal against Germany or whatever the case may be. But I don't know. That's just me being, like I said, just purely because of the fact that I think Colombia are going to do well.
Okay, right, got ya. So I don't know.
Don't hate on me too much, people. Don't hate on me too much.
Well, I mean, look, history tells us that that's actually quite an optimistic, prediction for England.
We're at the group stages. Get in.
Exactly. Yeah. If that was the case, would that be progression? Probably not. I don't think, because because we haven't won a knockout game since is it 06 or 02? I'm not sure, but
it's been a while, hasn't it?
A fair few years, let's just say. So if your little prediction there was to come true, I think it's an ever so slight improvement on losing to Iceland. But I mean,
still painful.
Still painful. A little bit like the sort of 2014 World Cup where we lost 2-1 to Italy, then 2-1 to Uruguay. Just like you're there, like England are there in the game, but they didn't quite have enough.
Yeah.
So I actually did quite a while ago now, before the squads and all that stuff had been announced, I did a sort of prediction video of the World Cup, and I literally did it like score by score, game by game. And it turned out in that specific prediction, like I said, it was quite a while ago, that England won the group.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so what I had was us drawing to Tunisia in the opening game, so like 1-1, because they were actually the highest ranked African team, and there's a few Tunisian videos, not Tunisian videos, but videos that are to do with the Tunisian football team on my channel, where all the Tunisians found and sort of harassed me about saying that it's an easy game. And I've since had to do some research on Tunisia, and actually they've just drawn 2-2 with Portugal. I'm not going to say what I was about to say then. If you've got a lot of Tunisian fans following you, I'm not going to say it. Go on, mate.
I don't know how old you are, but when you sort of got to year 10 and 11 of high school, when you were, you had your teachers going, are you going to go for the A to C papers, or are you going to go to the C to F papers?
Yeah.
Tunisia are the C to F papers. They might well be top of the bottom group in terms of Africa, but you're not an A to a C level. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, prepare for a lot
Don't hate on me too
Tunisians to come and leave dislikes. No, I'm joking.
I'm just gonna get spammed with all my videos, just loads of dislikes. I know it.
Nah, you should be fine. A lot of the Tunisian fans have been very respectful and seen the humour behind a lot of the stuff. But there's definitely a theme there of them basically telling me to stop underestimating them. Like every day, there's at least one comment from a Tunisian. So basically, I'm just gonna play it safe in case we do lose, and say 1-1 to Tunisia, and then so after that, I went for us to beat Panama, but only 2-0.
Yeah, that probably sounds about right.
Yeah, and then I went for us to actually beat Belgium, Belgium to not quite show up in that last game, which is really brave of me. Like, if we do draw and then win, we're going to have to at least draw against Belgium, and they probably will beat us. But I just went, I was thinking a little bit of my heart and not my head.
I suppose in that scenario, the game would probably be more to us than it would do to Belgium, so probably they would ease off a bit. So that probably makes sense.
So that's the logic I went with, which put us top of the group, which put Belgium second, and then I actually predicted Poland to win that group and Colombia to finish second.
Wow, okay.
And by the way, did you see Jose Mourinho's prediction for that group?
No.
He put, I saw a video yesterday, just randomly popped up on my suggested, Jose Mourinho predicting the groups of the World Cup. He put Senegal top and Poland second and Colombia to come third.
Oh, Jose. No, Jose. That's terrible. It's shocking. No wonder he's losing the plot. Jesus.
But that group is pretty, like, all the teams are quite close in quality. Like, I do think Colombia probably...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, even Japan will feel they probably could win that group, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But it turned out, anyway, that I had Colombia finishing second, so I had the same scenario of us playing Colombia.
Right.
Just sort of the other way around. So I then had us to beat Colombia 2-1 rather than lose 2-1, and this again is a little bit of my heart and not my head. And that would be a real close game, I think, a real good game.
Yeah,
that's about our level right now, I think, like a Colombia.
Yeah.
And then I had us to draw Germany in the quarterfinal. Brazil in the quarterfinals, and lose. So
no revenge for the semen lob then, or anything like that.
Nah, I just think Brazil are too much. Like they seem, if they can get to the semi-final in 2014, I know it was on their home turf, but with a sort of bit part team with like Hulk playing and you know players that didn't quite have nailed on positions. They didn't know if they were playing like Dante at centre back and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, and so I think now, like 4 years down the line, they've got a real like not predictable, but like a nailed on 11.
Yeah.
So I just think that Brazil are a potential finalists for and I just think they're going to have too much for us. I think we'll probably lose like 3-1 or something to them if we do come up against them. No revenge for the seaman lob for me.
No.
Maybe I was about to say maybe at the Euros, but that wouldn't make any sense, would it? Maybe at the next World Cup, we could get revenge on Brazil because, like you say, this team has youth and potential, and a quarterfinal is us at, in a weird way. Like for me, it's like at both our minimum and our maximum, like potential / expectation would be like a quarterfinal exit. It's like it's not. You go, okay, yeah, that's about what I expect, but also you go, I would have liked to have gone a bit further because we're England. But yeah, for me, quarterfinal exit, and we'll take it on the chin, and we'll hopefully have a better Euros. That's what I think.
That would, in all honesty, if that did happen, I think that'd be I'd consider that a success.
Yeah.
You know, you knock out a team like Colombia in your scenario, then fantastic. You know, that's a good footballing team, and it's more tournament experience under our belts. So, you know, quarterfinals, I'll take quarterfinals.
Yeah, but it remains to be seen if we have that, if we have any bottle, basically, in the knockouts.
Yes.
Yeah. But, mate, that's going to be it, I think. We're going to round things off there. I don't know how long we've been going for, but I feel like that's a decent little taster of a first sort of podcast for people if they want to if they want to listen to this and let me know what they think. I think this is a good sort of first episode, or episode 0 as I'm sort of quote unquote calling it.
Yeah, let us know your predictions in the comments. I'll we'll reply to all of them. I'd absolutely love to hear what everyone expects from us.
Yeah.
Realistically, what would you expect from us? That'd be amazing.
Absolutely. This is very much a discussion, guys, and we want to know what everybody thinks about the World Cup. Do you think that we're overestimating England, underestimating England? Let us know down in the comments below. Like I said, guys, at the beginning, make sure you go out and check out DeeJam's videos. Like we said, a lot of Football Manager, football vlogs, much like what I'm doing, except he's a Norwich fan. So for your sins, guys.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah,
we're not all perfect.
Well, mate, I'm a Charlton fan, so definitely not.
Oh God, you poor bloke.
Yeah, I know. Cheers for watching, guys, and leave a like on the video /podcast. Make sure you subscribe to myself and DeeJam if you find us for the first time. Let us know what you think, and we'll see you later.
And check out OneFootball. Woo!
Yeah. #sponsor. Sweet.